Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. I'm Lennon. How you guys doing? And you know what time it is. It is Sunday, so it is Faction Focus Sunday in Total War Round 2. So let's get straight into it. So today and in the next 2 weeks, I guess, we will be looking at the desert kingdoms. So today we are going to start taking a look at Maseasyli, and then next week we'll take a look at Kush, and the week after that we'll get after one of the other factions again. So you know a little bit of what's coming. So today, Maseasyli. The Desert Kingdoms have the passives. I still don't know really what to call them. But we do all Desert Warriors, all Desert factions, like Desert Kingdom factions, have a plus 10% morale for all units during battle in the desert, which you will do a lot in the first half of the game, so that's pretty nice. But we do have a little bit a decrease in technology, which is not that bad, to be honest. We do, however, as Maseasyli, have a 50% chance successfully launching an ambush, which will definitely help you out in the early and mid game, because it can be very handy. And we have hit and run plus 12% shots per minute for all cavalry units, and that is, I think, really a positive trait that can help you playing as Maseasyli in quite a long part of the game, since you have a lot of missile cav. But initial starting challenge is hard, and I'll explain to you later why. So let's get into the field, and I'll see you guys in a second. So here we are on the campaign map, and as Maseasyli, you start with a single minor settlement of Dimity. And usually you start with a food building here. I just removed it, so I skipped one turn just to make sure I could show you guys all the buildings that they have to offer. So as of right now, you start with a very small settlement, a lot of public order issues, because you have a Punic influence over you in basically half of the province. So cultural difference is straight up -10, which is annoying to start with. And diplomatic wise, you basically are in quite a pickle. You are friendly with the Gatuli. You have a trade agreement and a non-aggression pact to start with, but other than that, you're faced with enemies. Basically, Garmonthia is same blood, but they don't really like you. So yeah, you don't expect too much help from them. And your first road of expansion is either going all the way down here towards Garmonthia, taking them out, but your more usual line would be to take out the Nova Carthago, take out Isles straight away. What that means, you have a straight up war with Carthage and Libya as well. So for the foreseeable future in this campaign, you will be taking out Nova Carthago, Carthage, and Libya, just to secure your dominance on the African peninsula over here, which is still quite a tough thing to do, since military-wise, you are not that strong in the beginning. Like I said, so you start with a settlement over here without a military building. You do, however, start with 2 small armies, which are basically trash, although you do have elephants, which I think you'll probably have to rely on quite a lot, because your normal units are pretty crappy, like Numidian Spears, a 13 melee attack, 20 weapon damage. You do have 64 defense, so these guys will hold for a bit, but they will not kill a lot. But they might hold just long enough for your elephants to flank around, so that is basically probably your only hope. Slave infantry is just decent flanking units, but they will not hold. They are just cheap cannon fodder with like 14 upkeep, and they cost like $100. So you can spam them to have number superiority, but otherwise than that, you're not going to get too much value out of them if you don't flank with them. And 2 slingers in this army, which are pretty decent actually. And in the second army, you still have basically a bit of the same to help you out, either go towards Isle or go towards Garmonthia. So military wise, Yeah, it's decent. You have a noble infantry, noble cav, and a few javelins at your disposal as a garrison, which is not too great. So the military tree is divided in two routes, main routes: the animal breeder for your cav and the infantry camps for the infantry. That's pretty obvious choice. You do have this, gets you straight away some access to some desert cav, which is a pretty decent cav unit. 45 melee attack, 25 weapon damage, a little bit bonus first large. Not much armor, so they are quite vulnerable, but 52 melee defense, 75 health. They're pretty decent. The extra 10% morale you could really use here, and also as well with all the slave infantry, because they are crappy. You do have the exotic animal studs, which in tier 2 gives you nothing, but in tier 3 gives you the ability to recruit African elephants. And this is one of your powerhouses, so I think in some, maybe one or two settlements, it will be an investment to get towards tier 3, since you do need the cavalry tactics tech, which is a little bit further down the line. Your more obvious choice will probably be the horse studs, which will enable you to get Numidian cav, which is a very decent missile cav, plus 41 missile damage, 80 range. Shots per minute is only 7, but we do get the 12% extra shot per minute bonus, so they will get you some extra value. I think that's the correct word. We get access to chariots, but they are pretty mid. 16 to 24, charge bonus only 6, so not really too much, and I don't think these will fare well against the heavy hoplites that the Carthaginians, the Libyans, and the Novo Carthago will field. So I don't think these will be very good in your starting period of time. You do also get Numidian Raiders, decent missile cav, a little bit better than your desert cav, 36, 25, 58 charge bonus, a very crappy melee defense. So I would feel like this is more a bit of your weak and prolonged combat, so a little bit more of your shock cav, a light shock cav, which can do pretty decent. You do have guerrilla deployment, so you could get these guys go about around your main line, maybe to harass the missile units on very early on. And then once you start to get into the cavalry sales, you get the more armored cav. So we have armored desert cav, pretty decent. Armored medium cav, which is basically your upgraded missile cav, with still very decent 48, 36 melee attack, charge bonus, pretty decent melee defense. So these guys will be very versatile in your army with missiles, and still being a pretty decent cav for rear chargers. And the armored medium raiders, still guerrilla deployments. Oh no, they lost their ability to guerrilla deploy. Didn't know that one. But yeah, armored better stats. And of here you have your armored desert chariots. Still, they are better, but not that much. And your noble horse, which is an upgraded version of your missile cav. On the infantry department, you have one line that splits off into later on. So this gives you the ability to get some javelins, not so interesting. Tier 2 gives you ability for some extra infantry, Gatuli tribesmen, pretty decent stats actually, 30 melee attack, 25 weapon damage, 15 bonus versus infantry, but they have no armor, pretty low defense, so they will die very soon. But they do look pretty strong on the charge, so charge these in and cycle them out probably would be your best bet. And a medium light infantry, pretty decent as well, very cheap upkeep cost, 32, 35, 74 melee defense, 45 armor. This would be a little bit more your front line, and these guys you can cycle in and out just to do some extra damage. And then you have the ability to turn it into either a Romanized army with desert legionaries, pretty steady, and some desert spears, desert vigiles. and upgrade that to your desert cohorts, which are pretty standard good quality units. 60 melee defense, 90 armor, 60 health, very decent. And you also get the Desert Legionary Calf, which is, I don't think it's even that much better than your other calf abilities, so don't really know if this is the best investment, but the Desert Cohorts and the Desert Legionaries are a very, very good shout for holding the line later on. Also, you do have the ability to go for the more desert traditional route, which gives you armored spears and the medium skirmishers and the noble infantry. And I feel like you get more bang for your buck with the desert legionaries and cohorts than you would get over here. But that is, of course, personal interest as well. So with that out of the way, your ability to expand. So what you could do, maybe the hard tactic, is get this one army, go towards Isle, get this army, go towards over here to start expanding double. But once you start expanding over here and over here, you're gonna get war. You're gonna go to war with everyone, like Libya, Carthage, Nova Carthago. So it would be a risk to leave Dimity open to Thapsus and leave Simon's open towards Lepidus or Thapsus. So I would feel like it's probably your best bet to take both armies, go straight into Isle, get your military up and running since you have a food building over here, and then maybe either push straight to Carthage or go for Tingis first, so you have pretty decent control over your first home province, and then go Carthage, Thapsus, Libya, and then take over Africa and Phasania. I think that is your best bet on expanding here first, and then you can always choose to either go into Iberia or go in towards Libya. And I would feel like you have a easier choice against the barbarians than against the maybe spears and pike lines that you face with Egypt and the Seleucids. Rome will be tough, so your option is as well just to go straight in towards Rome, hopefully take them out while they're still weak. But once you have your own desert legionaries, you have a fighting chance against Rome. So it's a pretty hard start. Basically, your units are trash. You're up against very decent units, Carthaginian hoplites, Libyan hoplites. So you're outmatched, outnumbered, outproduced because everyone is bigger around you. So this would be a very interesting challenge campaign. For a normal campaign, you can take your time, but like this is Total War campaign, would definitely be very challenging, since you would have continuous fighting on all fronts. Unless you go over here, you have this choke point to hold, but this Isle is always vulnerable. Carthage is always vulnerable. There's pretty much a lot of land over here to cover. So yeah, it's a pretty risky This is Total War campaign, although it might very well be a fun challenge. So first, hard early game, better stable decent mid to late game with very decent units. So with that being said, I think that's all I have to say about the Maseasylians. But let me know if I missed anything. Let me know down in the comments, and otherwise I just want to say thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next Sunday. Peace.